Hello, my name is Felix Kagaju, and I am going to take this time to narrate this PowerPoint, which is going to be talking about statistical approaches which I'll use to analyze data to come up with a empirical or informed decision. So this I'll use it frequently in business decision making or company or any certain organization. So most of them are Z test, T test, and F test. So we will explore more from that and get an understanding as well as additional information on how they are applied in daily data records. So starting from z-tests against the t-tests, what we say z-tests, we mean a statistical approach which is used for large sample sizes and when the population standard deviation is known. So, like for instance, imagine you want to know if a new drug has an effect on the blood pressure. You have a large sample size of blood pressure readings and a known population standard deviation for this variable. A z test is suitable in this scenario. Going quickly to the t-test. So this is another statistical approach which is used when sample sizes are small and the standard deviation is unknown, an opposite of the first one. Like for instance, imagine you want to evaluate if there is a statistically significant difference between the average salaries and of males and female employees at your company. You have a small size and do not know the population variance. A t-test is preferred in this scenario as long as it has an unknown standard deviation. So let's go to the next statistical method, which is f-tests. This is used to compare variances of different samples. So it helps to detect if the difference between sample variances is statistically significant. For instance, if you could use the f-test to determine if there is a significant difference between the variability of the test score in two different college courses, course A and course B. So here is how it works and when to use it. So it works by comparing the ratio of variances between the two groups, two clues with the ratio of valences within the same groups. So when to use it? So this is useful when comparing more than two groups. For instance, in a clinical trial, you may need to compare the efficacy of three different treatments. Paired and all against and paired tests. Unpaired tests used when comparing two different groups. Imagine you want to know if there is a significant difference in the blood pressure of men and women. You have to distinct groups of data, and unpaired t-test is suitable here. You understand when you're going to compare two um, different groups of blood pressure. You understand you have to use this type. So for parity test is a statistical approach which is used when the data is paired. So like for instance, imagine you want to assess the effectiveness of a new treatment for a group of patients. You measure their blood pressure before and after the treatment. You have paired data because the before and after values are linked by the same patient. Parity test is appropriate in this case. So for F tests, here is its meaning and as well a real life scenario example where it can be applicable. So first of all, f-test is used to compare two variances of different samples to compare things and come up with an informed decision. So for instance, a teacher wants to compare the effectiveness of two different teaching methods on student test scores. Here he might compare like the valency of first method and the valency of second method, and see what is popping than the other and what can be more appropriate when just it comes to decision making. So summary of all the um, approaches that we have been discussing about is like for studying the tests. This deals with a large sample size known as standard deviation used for one population mean. The test a smaller sample size known as standard deviation. So this is used for one population mean, two independent means, and matched pairs. Paired t-tests, two dependent sample groups before and after comparison. When it comes to unpaired t-tests, two independent sample groups, male against female, here are just to be compared. So quickly going to the first prompt was to provide Z tests, formula, one sample test, formula, paired t-test and paired t-test, and a FT test formula. And the formulas are just below each one. And here is a labeling of symbols like X means sample mean. The symbol which goes to be like U is population mean, and the symbol goes like to be or is population standard deviation, and the next one is sample standard deviation, next one is sample size, another one is difference between the paired sample, another one is population mean difference, another one is standard deviation of the difference between the paired samples, and one XL means mean of the first sample, X2 mean of the second sample, XP pooled standard deviation. I would love to appreciate everyone who managed to listen to this narration of statistical approaches which are used to analyze data to come up with a good and sound decision. Businesses and companies should opt to utilize these statistical test techniques when they are, you know, uh, planning to make decisions in their daily or everyday business activities. Thank you so much. This is the end of our narration. Bye bye.